All right, let's dive right in. We're talking about a huge shift happening right now in global strategy. Governments aren't just making rules from the sidelines anymore. They're actually stepping into the boardroom, playing a role you probably never saw coming.
So, let's kick things off with a question for you. When you think about the big players in business, the high-stakes investors, you're probably thinking about venture capital firms or private equity giants, right? But who's the newest and maybe most surprising strategic investor on the block?
Believe it or not, it's the U.S. government. And I'm not talking about the usual stuff like taxes or regulations. No, this is something totally different. We're talking about the government acting like a real strategic partner, literally buying shares and taking a seat at the table.
And this right here, this shows you just how big a change we're talking about. The old way? Well, the government would help out from a distance, right? Handing out grants, loans, maybe some tax incentives. But the new strategy? It's way more direct. We're talking equity stakes, direct ownership, and even getting a say in board decisions. It's like going from being the bank to being a co-owner. And that changes the entire game.
Okay, so the big question is why? Why is this happening now? The first huge reason comes down to one word: security. And we're not just talking about tanks and jets. We're talking about securing the entire industrial foundation of the country.
So what we're really getting at here is supply chain security. I mean, think about it. The phone in your pocket, the most advanced military tech, all of it depends on this crazy complex global web of parts and materials. This new strategy is all about making sure that a rival country can't just, pull the plug on those essential supply lines.
And this isn't just some theory from a textbook. This is happening for real. Take this number, $400 million. That's a huge chunk of change, right? The Pentagon invested that much. So the question is, where did it go?
That money went directly into buying a piece of a rare earth mining company, MP Materials. And the goal was super clear. Stop relying so heavily on China for these critical minerals. We're talking about the stuff that's essential for EV batteries, for missile guidance systems, the works. The idea is to have a secure source right at home. And for you as a future business leader, think about what that means. Suddenly your competitor might have the US government in their corner.
And it's not just about rare earth minerals. This is a much bigger pattern. The same playbook is being used in other absolutely critical areas. Think about semiconductor manufacturing. Huge investments are going into companies like Intel to bring chip making back home, or shoring up something as basic but vital as steel production.
Okay, so that's the first big reason. Now let's look at the second major driver here, because this isn't just about protecting future tech. It's also about creating a safety net for the economy right now.
What we're talking about is economic stabilization. You know how when one domino falls, it can knock over the whole line? Well, that's what can happen when a systemically important company or industry starts to fail. The government steps in to act like a firewall, to stop that chain reaction before it takes down the entire economy.
And we've seen this happen, right? During big financial crises. The government didn't just write a check and walk away. They took temporary ownership stakes in huge companies, automakers, banks, you name it. This let them steer the ship from the inside during restructuring. But, and this is a big but, it came with some serious strings attached. It forced a level of accountability and transparency that completely changed the way these companies did business.
All right, let's get to the third and maybe most interesting part of this strategy. See, holding shares isn't just about money or security. It's about influence. It's about power. It's about having a direct voice in what a company does next.
And that brings us to this really cool tool called the golden share. Just think about this. It's a special kind of share that gives its owner veto power over huge company decisions. We're talking about things like selling the company, even if they only hold that one single share. It's basically the ultimate trump card for maintaining control.
And this isn't just theory. Here's a perfect real-world case. When a foreign company was looking to acquire U.S. steel, the government got itself one of these golden shares. So now, no matter who technically owns the company, the government has a final say to protect national interests. For those of you thinking about mergers and acquisitions, this is huge. It means national security concerns can now totally override what would otherwise be a normal market deal.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. Let's boil it all down. What are the key things you absolutely need to remember about this new world of government investment? For your exams, for your career, here it is.
It's pretty simple when you break it down. The big picture goal: national and economic security. And there are three main ways they're doing it. First, locking down those crucial supply chains. Second, acting as a backstop to stabilize the economy in a crisis. And third, using clever tools like golden shares to have a direct say. But if you remember one thing, remember this: it's a huge shift from just giving out loans
to taking a seat at the table as a direct owner.
So, that leaves us with one final thought, and this one's for you. As you move up in your careers, it's not crazy to think you could end up in a boardroom with the government as one of your key stakeholders. So how would you handle that? How do you balance their national security agenda with your duty to create value for other shareholders? It's a massive strategic challenge, and figuring it out is probably going to define what it means to be a great leader in the years to come. Something to think about, for sure.